All right, welcome back to episode 2 of the Quarter Life Crisis. Thank you for joining me. If it's your first time being here, I'm Ethan, and if you're returning, welcome back. Uh, on Tuesday, I'm technically recording this on Wednesday night because I don't like the first version that I did of it. So, to recap Tuesday's workout, I hit just a treadmill run, 45, oh, excuse me, 40 minutes, a 4.7 miles, 8:28 pace, nothing crazy. I'm taking miles off this week. I'm going for just simply 25 to 30 miles this week. So an easier week compared to what I've done. And I'll go over Wednesday's workout tomorrow. So on this episode, really, I wanted to go over who I am and why maybe you might identify with me, or if you haven't heard from me in a long time, or you see me around and you you just wonder who I am. This is the definitive episode on who is Ethan, Astounding Tuna, as I'm also affectionately known. I'm describing myself. This is a self-described episode. I'm a fiance. I'm a dog dad. I'm a family man. Retired athlete. A podcaster slash artist. I'm a leftist, and finally agnostic. And I want to start. That's to me, it's not quite in order of importance, but I'll definitely tell you that the most important is first up. I'm a fiance, and that's probably what I'm most proud of on this list out of everything. What a beautiful and wonderful source of inspiration um, that I get to interact with on a daily basis. I feel so fortunate just to call her a friend, nonetheless a loved one. I feel so fortunate to get to marry my best friend this year. That's such an incredible thing, and I wish that for everyone out there. I am challenged to be the best version of myself, and I mean that in the best way possible. I want that. I want to be the best version of myself for the sake of my upcoming marriage and my current engagement. Uh, I said in episode 1 that I grew up without a father, and so I really really want to be a father one day, and I want her to be the mother of my children alongside me. I want to raise children with her, which is it puts a really big smile on my face even thinking about it. It's scary, but there's no one else in the world that I would rather take on that challenge with. And so that's who I am as a fiance. I'm very, very devoted and loyal to Trista, the most amazing woman I've ever met, the only one I've ever met that could dethrone my mom. I'm also a dog dad alongside her. She is a dog mom. And we are dog parents to Lucy and Snoopy. Snoopy is turning 2 this month at the end of January, and Lucy is going to be 3 months. Well, she is 3 months old currently. Snoopy's a Beagle Basset Hound, and Lucy is a Chiweenie mix. And I love dogs. I've had dogs my whole life, and I love the responsibility, companionship to come along with dogs. I'm a very much a dog person. I'm a family man. I'm a son, a nephew, a grandson. I grew up in the same house with my mom, my uncle Charlie, my grandma and grandpa. My uncle Bruce lived a little further away from me in Pennsylvania, but it was just a chaotic household in the best way possible, and sometimes the worst way possible. But it is, I'm proof that it takes a village, and that house taught me what living in that house taught me what unconditional love is. Uh, how to show it, how to receive it, and that's the reason why I'm as confident as I am that the sun will rise tomorrow, that Trista is the right partner for me. As much as it taught me about love, it also showed me a lot about the ugly side of love and that, and as I'm sure many of your families have, but a lot of that has provided me with the fuel as well as discipline to get into the gym and taking care of myself and making sure that I'm the best version of myself. So I'm very grateful for all those experiences, good and bad. I'm a retired athlete. So growing up, I played everything. I have the earliest memories of basketball and baseball. I remember doing a football camp at the St. Louis Rams football facility one time. Shout out to the St. Louis Rams. I played soccer and quit. I hated it at first. I swam for a long time. I thought I was going to be an Olympian one day in the pool. I did a year of cross country, more like I didn't even do a meet. So I did a few cross country practices, is a better way to put it. I did a season of tennis where I was like the number 6 on the roster, not great ever. I did a season of track. I was a 1600 runner and I did a PR of 503. So I'm very proud of that. Eventually, my sophomore year of high school, I landed on soccer. I played for my high school team and my club and a club soccer team. And I was fortunate enough to play in college. I worked insanely hard to do that. Oh my God. Uh, Sometimes I think about that, and it's probably the hardest I've ever worked in my life. And I played in college, which was also a very formative experience for me and something that I'm extremely grateful for. It led me to where I am today. If I had not come to college to play soccer, I wouldn't have met my fiance, and I wouldn't own a home here where I live. So I'm eternally grateful for that experience and that grind. Um, Being an athlete on a team as well as individually will teach you. I mean, it's taught me almost everything there is to know about life. Obviously, I'm still waiting to learn a lot. I'm very young and not that wise, all things considered, but it's taught me everything that I know so far. And I athletics are just another fantastic outlet for your passions. So I'm also a podcaster, which I consider to be an artist, and I'll explain that. Being a podcaster, though, is a fantastic outlet for my love of soccer. It's a fantastic way that I stay connected with my some of my best friends. These are guys that are going to stand behind me when I get married. And I'm really very proud to say that some of my longest and oldest friends. And it gives us all the chance to express ourselves and create in our own different ways. And one of the reasons that's so beautiful is just because of the community that we've been exposed to and that we are creating. And so for that, I'm very grateful. And I consider that to be the definition of what an artist is, being able to express ourselves through our own creative medium. And what for some artists that's music, for some it's cinema, for some it's literature, or whatever medium of art. It might be paint. Um, so that's why I consider myself to be an artist. I would consider myself to be an artist of my body and being in the gym. So I'm sure that if you reflected, you would find that there are elements of yourself that are an artist as well. Anyways, check out the podcast. We're the St. Louis City Boys. I'm a leftist. I am woke. Oh, I would consider myself to be a progressive anti-capitalist while understanding that we live in an anti-capitalist society, and I don't love that. I can't change that on my own. I despise the current president and the current political climate, and I believe in social justice. I dropped out of grad school. I did a semester of social work in grad school, and it was a fantastic learning experience. I just am currently prioritizing starting a family over school. So, what I want to do as a leftist is empower people through the knowledge of how to build strength physically, how to teaching people about information in the gym and healthy masculinity. As a man, I think that my role in society is to create safe and inclusive spaces for other people, and that's even specifically minorities, whether that be trans people, LGBTQ people in general, LGBTQIA. And women, minorities. Just that is how I feel men should be. And men should be convicted and passionate as well as level-headed. I hate the idea of scary men, powerful men. I think there is a really toxic idea of what it is to be a man. So that's what I'm hoping to teach people, embody, exemplify for people specifically, though, men. And finally, onto probably the final core pillar of myself. I'm an agnostic. I put religion toward the end because it's one of the lesser parts, one of the smaller pillars, I would say, but an important one nonetheless, still one that holds up the foundation that is me. And so I was raised Catholic in a private school. It was a really toxic situation. Then I was in the Lutheran church for a little bit. Then I was atheist, but really I just swore off religion. I was just very anti-religious. I had a negative experience in being young in the church, not uh maybe not the ones that you're thinking of. I just didn't like it. Okay. Nothing horribly traumatic. I just really did not like the people in it. They did not treat me nicely. And so I had a negative view on religion in general. I basically swore it off and was very anti-religion, but I landed on being agnostic because it feels the most open-minded. I think that in its worst light, you could be considered a fence sitter or just undecided in general. But I really like to consider myself open-minded. I think that there is a lot of value to take from many world religions, and I recognize a lot of the flaws that those religions have as well. I also genuinely cannot say for sure what is out there. I feel like there might be something, and then some days I wake up and I don't feel that way. So on the average of those days, I consider myself to be agnostic. And so that's who I am. That's me. That's Ethan Thornton. Obviously not every single part of me, but the self-identification. If you needed to get to know me in around 10 minutes, this is what I would direct you to. And so I hope that you join me as I try and develop myself as all of those pillars: a leftist, a man, a human being, a future husband, a future father, hopefully, please, a fitness enthusiast of a retired athlete. So I hope that there's something that you can take away. Maybe not from this video because it's it feels very vain just to talk about myself like this. And post it online feels so cringy to me, but I feel the desire to be vulnerable and open so that people can connect with me and then hopefully take inspiration and join in pursuit of being the best version of themselves. And so that's what I'll leave you with. I hope that you have a great week, and I will see you next time.